How you doing, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to World of Tanks with Scout. I know, I already did one World of Tanks video today, but the first video was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, semi-serious rant about artillery. It's not a real World of Tanks video, so I wanted to do another one. Plus, it's particularly relevant because I wanted to cover premium tanks and how they've changed since the last time I played World of Tanks. And it's a good time to start with this one right here, the T26E5, the Patriot, because for at least another 24 hours, it is available in the premium shop, which is something I kind of want to touch on. So I thought we'd take a look at this tank, take a look at what it is, how it compares to some of the other tanks, how it kind of reflects on the philosophy at all, which most of you guys already know has drastically changed since some time ago, and then show you some gameplay in this tank right here, the Patriot. So the first thing I've done is I set up a comparison using the in-game comparison tool, just like I did on my last video, and I want to take a look at it because I think it's going to shed some light on a few things. So I'm going to go to that first. So here we go, guys. I've set up the comparison again with 100% cruise, using the standard ammunition, the top modules on the tanks that can be upgraded. In this case, the T32. No camouflage, no vents, no any of that stuff. Just the tanks, so you can see them side by side, right? And I've got the Patriot here, the old T34 here, the T32, and then just for fun, I also put the Mutant over here, the M6 A2E1. And I want you to notice something as we look across the board as we do this, because it's also going to get into the other topic I wanted to talk about, which is this current state of premium tanks and World of Tanks. If we look at firepower, the T26E5 tops the list at 357, and it tops it by a considerable margin. Now, again, that's because this thing, it lends a lot of weight to DPM, and of these four tanks that we're looking at, the T26E5 is the only one with a 90mm gun. The T34 obviously has the 120 as memory serves, and then the T32 and the M6A2 both have the 105. So obviously the Patriot has much higher DPM. But if you notice, it's also got better penetration than all the other tanks save the T34, which of course has the big boom stick and has 248mm of penetration on its standard rounds and a 400 damage alpha. That of course means that the Patriot has the greatest rate of fire at 8.69 rounds per minute. It's also got the best traverse speed, 26.0 degrees per second on its turret. The only thing that can even come close to that is the T32, which has the same turret traverse speed. It's got equal gun depression, minus 10 degrees, and its dispersion is actually respectable at 0.36, but not as good as actually the T34, which tops the list at 0.34. So DPM of 2086 is much better than all the other tanks in this comparison. Survivability, 1500 hit points is pretty normal. It's actually a little bit lower than the T32 and the M6A2. And the armor we'll come back to, but if you look at it just by the numbers, it's pretty comparable to all these other tanks. The turret armor seems significantly weaker at only 190, but as we're going to see, that's not really the case with the angling and so forth. What you need to take away from this is it does have a very effective turret, but not quite as effective as the T32, but it's got better frontal armor all around. Mobility, again, the Patriot tops it, 441. It's got a 15.17 specific power to weight ratio, which is better than all the other tanks, including the T32, the tech tree tank. It's got a better top speed. It's got a better reverse speed. It's got a better hull traverse speed. So in terms of mobility, again, no question, the Patriot is better. Concealment is not really an issue in a heavy tank, but again, you can see that the only thing better than the Patriot is the T32, and it's only marginally better at best. And then view range, you can see it's only 10 meters less than the T32. And kind of the stick in my craw in all of this is that the T32 and the M6A2 are actually basically using the same gun. They threw an E on the end of it for the M6A2, the Mutant, but it's essentially the same 105mm gun, and for whatever reason, it gets 204mm of penetration, whereas the T32 only gets 198. So the real question is, why would you ever run a T32? And that's something that you're going to see over and over again in the next couple of episodes as we talk about the new Tier 8 premiums, is that the philosophy used to be that a premium tank was better than a stock tank of the same tier, but not as good as a fully upgraded tank at that tier. It got more money, more in-game credits, but you had to pay real money to get it. But to make up for the fact that it wasn't as good as a fully upgraded tank, you got preferential matchmaking. You didn't ever have to fight two tiers above you. You only had to fight one, right? And so nobody, it wasn't really paying to win. You were just paying to get a different tank that got preferential matchmaking. In this case, you are clearly paying to get a better tank. Some people would make the argument that the T32 is better than the T34, right? Because it's got better DPM and the T34 is so slow to fire. I would argue the T34 is actually better, but you know, you could at least make that argument. But in this case, in the case of the Patriot, there's no argument to be made. The Patriot is clearly a better tank. And some of you will say, well, no, the T32 still got that impenetrable turret, and the Patriot doesn't have that. But if we take a look at the armor, that's not entirely the case. So let's go to Tanks GG and use their live model, because I want to show you guys that. So you can see here the armor of the Patriot is actually pretty good. The hull is okay. It's got about 200 millimeters armor. It does have a weak point right here. The lower glacis, as you would expect, is trash. But the turret is actually very, very strong. It's almost as good as a T32's turret. It does have a cupola there, but as you can see, the cupola is actually not too bad. But you'll notice if you angle it just a little bit, and we're comparing it against the actual Patriot's gun, which has 230 millimeters of penetration on its standard rounds, it's not bad. It starts getting a little tricky. If you get a low penetration roll, you're not going to pen the upper glacis, even if it's angled, and you're going to have a hard time penetrating in here as well. Now, the reason I set it up like this is if you angle it a little bit and use your gun depression like so, you can see that, yeah, you're going to have a real hard time penetrating the Patriot. As long as he's covering up his lower glacis, the armor on this tank is actually quite good. So there you go, guys. That's an in-depth look at the armor, which was the only thing really that the T32 had going for it. And I'll say it again, I think when it comes to usable, effective armor, the Patriot's actually better than the T32. So I can't for the life of me understand why anybody would ever run a T32. And I think that's really a sad state of affairs where we've got these premium tanks like this. And as you're going to see, this is not the only one, and this is not the worst offender. But we'll cover that in future episodes. For now, let's get into some gameplay of the Patriot, and I'll show you guys what this tank plays like. Alright guys, so here we are on Redshire in a Tier 9 game in our Patriot. And obviously what we're going to try to do here is go up into the heavy tank alley here, which has been significantly redone since the last time that we played World of Tanks. Try to push through there, use the fact that we can get hull down, maybe take advantage of some of the other Tier 8s, and then go from there. It's a little bit more difficult to push across from the 0 line to the 8 line once you get on the north side of this. So we'll have to see. I may not push across there. It depends on what happens. And apparently this is not set to colorblind mode. So let's do that right quick while we're just driving into position. There we go. So not a lot going on in the opening phases. The trick here is to not get spotted, because obviously there are 3 clickers in this game, and if you get spotted, you can guarantee that they're pre-aimed on the opening right here in front of us, and they will drop on you as you try to get into position. Now the nice part is they have this crashed airship up here now, so once you get up here, if you get all the way up in, you can get cover from artillery, and at least then all you have to worry about is the tanks in front of you, although they can, if they're careful, kind of drop artillery right in and around here, so you do want to be careful. But yeah, I agree with the patent. I'm not a fan of RD. So there's the new French heavy autoloader, the Samoa. Got to be careful of that guy, but his armor is not particularly great, so if we can get a shot at him, we can definitely pen his turret. And that's one of the nice things about the Patriot, is you really don't have to use premium ammunition, if I can speak very often. Now there's a T10. The unfortunate part about the Patriot is we have a 90mm gun, so overmatching his roof, little dirty tricks like that, you're not going to be able to do it with the Patriot. That is one downside to this thing. But if we just keep overwatching him like this, not allowing him to come up, what we will do is give our artillery a chance to punish them. So that's why I'm sitting here. It's not that I really think I'm going to pen the T10's turret. I just want him to continue to dork around and waste time down there. And there's a KV-3 who looks like he's just trying to snipe. Stock turret, looks like. There we go. Didn't think that was going to go in, but you miss every shot you don't take. You never know your luck. And we're just going to continue to sit here, occupy the good terrain, and prevent the enemy heavy tanks from moving up here and let our artillery punish them. Which is why I continue to back out and try to spot. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, it'll tend to make them back up. I really need this 257 to not be here. Dude, go to the other side. He's probably getting hammered by artillery, that's why he's here. Interestingly, we don't have anybody in the far west, so that's going to be a problem later, I'm sure. Oh, looks like the Jagdtiger is going to push, so if the Jagdtiger pushes, then we need to go with him, because we can't afford to lose a tier 9. We really need the 257 to stop jamming me up. So it looks like we're going to make this push. You got to be careful here. Sometimes I'll go down to the left because it's a little less open to the campers that are shooting you from off to the left, where about the ELC even 90 is now. We're just going to abuse this IS-2. Wow, he actually penned me. Oh, it's because he was shooting heat. And now I'm thinking we need to push up to the rock, otherwise we're going to get hammered by their artillery. Really didn't want to take that hit from the Scorpion G, but didn't have much choice. We need to push up, or we're just going to get clobbered by Artie. Take a shot at this T10 here. That was a poorly aimed shot. And abuses stock KV-3. Goodbye. And now, there we go. I was going to say, I need the rest of the team to come up and support. Looks like he fired. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm watching. It's the Scorpion G that I don't want to take a hit from again. Looks like he's focused on the Jagdtiger. I might go around. Yeah, like the IS-2 is. I think that's the way to do this. I don't know where that Scorpion G went though. I don't think he gave up that position. I think he's still camping up there. We're going to look to see if he takes a shot at somebody. It doesn't look like he is, so we're going to put one into the back. And it bounces because of the awkward angle. I'm trying to track him. And looks like they picked up the kill. So now we got to hurry up and get out of here and push through and get up to the... so that that doesn't happen. And get to the safety of this ridge right here, which provides us a little bit of cover. And I think that was a Bombardier's medal. Did he just kill two people with one shot? Our Jagdtiger and the T25 AT? That's unfortunate. There's the Scorpion. We caught him out. I was hoping I could take out his engine or something there. Not quite enough gun depression. Oh, now we lost sight of him. He's probably not still there, but that tree fell in the vicinity, so you never know. Now we got to mine this T30 off to the left, which is why we haven't just charged through here, because I guarantee you he's sitting down there looking at us. You never know. He might be all the way on the backside trying to hide from the Scorpion, the Leo, and everybody else. But we're not going to drive out there in the open and find out. And there's Artie. Let's back up. Don't want to get clicked again. Although I think the rest of their the rest of their artillery is dead. So we can continue to stay hull down here. Try to pop this T30. Right in the side of his turret, like that. Maybe we can get another one in. There we go. And I don't have 6th sense on this crew yet, so I don't know if I'm spotted yet or not. I wouldn't think so. But again, it depends on where the T-54 and the Scorpion are. Yeah, I don't think they could spot me from way out there. They're outside of render distance even. So now we're going to go try to take out the artillery, because if we can take out the artillery, then I can take hull down positions and I don't have to worry about getting clicked. Although I will shoot at that Scorpion. if he drives back into render distance like that. Well, he's right behind that little rise there. Oh, there's the T-54. He's way down there slaughtering our artillery. So we'll nuke the... Oh, okay. As I was saying, we will nuke their artillery, and then it'll just be a matter of cleaning up the T-54. So not a fantastic game. They didn't really push into us. They just kind of sat out there, and rather than throw the tank away, we just sat in a better position and allowed our artillery to do its job, and then finished up there at the end. Really didn't take too many hits except for that big slap that we took from the Scorpion, and there's their artillery. Of course, he's conveniently behind this rock. There we go. We got ammo racked. That's unpleasant. Now we have to figure out where the T-54 went. He might be coming back up through there. I wouldn't doubt it. So we'll go back over there. I don't think he's coming up through the middle, just because the T-54 doesn't really have the... I'm looking at the drama going on in chat. The Patton's apparently mad, top tier, and he got waxed. No, he didn't get waxed. There he is. He's up there with 2 kills, so he's just being bossy. Anyway, as I was saying, the T-54 doesn't have the gun depression to work those hills, so I suspect he's over there, but it looks like there he is. I was going to say they're driving through there, so he can't be there. Now he'll probably be shooting gold. Otherwise, he might actually have a hard time getting through our armor. You know what? I'm going to sit right here, because I can not only be hull down, I can be in their cap circle and kind of force this T-54 to come up to me, but it doesn't look like he's gonna. They should be able to pressure him from the back, so I might be able to come down on him and get a ram kill, which is actually one of the missions that I have, I think. Don't track me. Don't track me. There we go. Mission accomplished. And so, it's a decent game in the Patriot. Let's take a look at one more. Alright. So this is the new Polish map. I can't even say the name of it properly, but we're going to go to the middle up at Delta 6 and try to hold that. I don't really want to go down south, and I expect their 705 will be in here, and I think the Conqueror would have a hard time dealing. Oh, fantastic. The Conqueror is going to go south. So this is really getting off to a fantastic start. So what I'm going to do is, I do have the Oni with me, so I'm just going to be real conservative in here, try to stay hull down, and just hold the center. This is a interesting map, because you got this hill here with a hill on either side of it, right? And then you got the ditch here where you can run up and down, as well as this town here. So everybody kind of advances on line here, right? And they're here, here, and here. And you can't really advance in either way because you might get flanked from either side. So it's kind of a standoff until somebody wins something. And that FV actually penned my turret, which is kind of surprising. There's the Oho. And I am going to load premium rounds for him. I don't think I can pen the Oho's turret with standard rounds. But I don't want to peek him because I think he's got a big derp gun and I don't want to lose hit points. And now I see the Super Pershing moving off to the left. So I'm going to go left and take him out because they can actually drive right up around in behind you if the people down south don't shoot them and stop them from doing that. Fortunately, it already tracks him there and slows him down. And now we're just going to put shots into this Super Pershing's turret. Weak point should be right about there. I can't believe that didn't go in. And he's just going to sit there, I guess. So there we go. We'll finish him off. And there's the 705 that we were worried about. You can actually drive through this and come out there where the FB4202 and the Oho are. Or you can just come straight through. And we don't have anybody north either to put pressure on the 705. So this is going to suck. I know he's fired, so I'm going to take a free shot here, but can't find anywhere I can pin his turret. IS is coming up. And a little bit of lag there. I went out way further than I wanted to because I lagged, which really sucks because I took a shot from the IS for no reason. This IS is being really aggressive. Just try to finish him off without getting blasted by the 705. I've gotten the premium rounds now for the OHO. Ooh, that was almost ugly. I was pretty sure he's about to dirt me right in my face. Ooh, that was our artillery trying to, quotation fingers, help me. And again, what I need to do is just not be overly aggressive. Just sit here, use my good turret armor, try to stay hull down, and just hold this. Pretty sure our artillery is somehow lobbing rounds right into the opening here, hitting these guys. Here's the Carnarvon Action 10, which is the new British Tier 8 heavy, and we can pin him right there. Now, I don't think I need premium rounds to do this, but I'm leaving my premium rounds loaded because I'm expecting the OHO or the 705 to come up, and I don't want to be loaded with a standard round if they do. And you see the Carnarvon's having a hard time pinning my turret because I'm hiding the weak spot. And there you go, and here comes the FV. There's the OHO, and he does derp us right in the face for 293, but we penned him with our premium rounds as expected, trying to get the top of the FV just to get him out of here. And I need a flat spot on the OHO. I was actually shooting at the top of the FV4202 there, or this will work. Did not think he was going to be able to derp me like that. But another 241 hit points gone, and there's the top of the FV. That's what I wanted. And that's why I absolutely despise these Japanese tanks. It's like no skill involved, just going to derp you. Doesn't matter what you do, you're going to take damage. It's kind of disgusting. But you can see we've quietly racked up almost 3k damage, and there's nothing left here except for the 705. Now I've got to be very careful with the 705. Actually, I misspoke. The hatch, the weak spot on my turret, is on the right hand side, so I was exposing it. I'm going to wait here until he looks behind him, and now I can actually pin his turret right there. I did not think that I could, but with the premium rounds on this tank, that one bounces. I was actually able to get through his turret, and again, that's one of the reasons I love this tank, is it has such fantastic penetration, particularly on its premium rounds, which have 259 millimeters of penetration. Now, just because I like the tank, that doesn't necessarily mean it's good for the game, alright? That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the Tech Tree tank should be more like this, right? I should not feel helpless when I'm fighting Tier 9s and 10s in a Tech Tree tank the way I do when I'm in the T32. And that's really frustrating to me. So now we've finally taken the middle. We finally got a little bit of help from the rest of our team. The Conqueror made his way up here, and now it's just a matter of closing this out without throwing the game. So the first thing I want to do is clear the T54 out of the north, like we talked about. Clear one and then the other. So he's going to run, I expect. And you can see the fold in the terrain right there that's keeping us from shooting him. But it looks like he's in a shoving match with the Super Pershing. And there he goes. Now he's circling back. It's unusual. And I was hoping that, there you go, back up. I was hoping he would back up just like this and give me a shot at the T54, but he is able to finish him off before we get the shot. So that was a little bit unfortunate. And we're now up to 3,500 damage in a Tier 9 game in our Patriot. And we're one shot away from getting the top gun. But there's not much left to shoot at. So what we got to try to do is get out here fairly quickly and hopefully either pick up one of these tank destroyers or pick up a artillery and get our top gun. They should be right over there, is what I'm thinking, which is why I'm pointing my turret this way. I really don't want to get derped by the SU-152. That would be kind of an ignominious end to this game. There's the SU. He's behind that little hill there, though. So what I'm going to do is kind of keep that hill in between us and try to surprise him. I think he's probably pointing south. 1375 will ruin it, though. If he comes out, okay, he's not going to come out, so I can keep going. Ah! They killed him. So now it's going to be the 1375 or Artie for the top gun, one of the two. 1375 is, of course, running away. That's inconvenient. Although, oh, thank God. No! I want my top gun. There we go. Able to pick up the top gun. And that's pretty much game. Yeah, we'll go ahead and shoot the Arty. I'm thinking that the 1375 was more dangerous, but they should. Yeah, there they go. They've got him. And unfortunately, this Arty's actually going to move rather than stand still, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the shot on him or not for a 7th kill. Nah. The M12 actually picks him up. And that's game. Top Gun in the Patriot. So let's take a look at the end plates, and then we'll close out the video. We have the end plates for the game on Redshire, second class. We've got a kamikaze ribbon for smashing that T54. But other than that, nothing particularly remarkable other than we were able to top the damage even over the Tier 9 tanks, which is kind of unusual. And then here we have the end plates, Mastery Badge, Top Gun, High Caliber, and Patrol Duty, a Scout Medal, or the game on Studzianki, I think is how you say it, the new Polish map. So a little bit crazy there, but good result overall. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 games in the T26E5 Patriot. So should you buy this tank, really, is the question that's asked. Is it worth it, is another way of wording it. And at the end of the day, I stick by what I've always said is that's up for you to decide, right? I can never, with a straight face, tell you you should go out and spend your money on something that's digital. It doesn't exist. It's not concrete in the real world, right? You're paying money for something that not only is it a digital asset in a video game, but a video game that will eventually die. Eventually the servers will be turned off and you won't have this. So only you can decide if that's worth it to you. What I can say, right, is that if you're going to grind through the American tech tree, the heavy tank tech tree, right, if you're going that way, if you feel like you want a crew trainer, if you feel like you want a Tier 8 premium tank, an American heavy tank, right, and if you have disposable income and you're willing to give it up, then yeah, this is probably a worthwhile way to spend it. But on top of everything else we talked about at the beginning of the video, you can only get this tank at certain times, right? And that's why I wanted to do the video today, because as of right now, it's available for about 1 more day in the premium shop, and then it'll be gone again. And that's just really kind of, it really strikes me as slimy that we're now selling premium tanks that are better, hands down, than the tech tree tanks, and we're selling them for money. And I don't know, but as you're going to see, this isn't the worst offender. This is just the one that I wanted to put up today, because you can still get it if you decide that's what you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it's been useful for you. If it has, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. If you don't like the video, feel free to leave a dislike. Let me know what I can do to make it better. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.